So I'm about to make some big changes into my podcast. It's obviously named Chris Beats More Sports Podcast, but I'm going to change that into Big Blue News Podcast. We will be covering Kentucky sports, mainly Kentucky football and basketball. And with this season upcoming, it's a little less than 2 months away. For my first ever podcast, for having a guest, I'll have Jeff Pecoro, and we're going to just talk about this upcoming year, what he thinks UK will do, and how successful they will be. But right now, I'm working on the. Here it is for now. Obviously, it's not the best, but I'm learning from it. I got a new webcam for my computer. My laptop is about dead though. Got the microphone right over here. But right now, I'm just very excited to get this podcast going. I'm going to try to, at least record one podcast episode a week for sure. I'm going to definitely try to have at least one former Kentucky football player on my podcast each week. The plan is on Monday to record the podcast with them, and then throughout the week, or post some clips from the podcast, and then on Friday, post the full podcast for everybody to listen to and watch. But I think uploading bits and pieces of the podcast throughout the week instead of the full podcast for people to listen and see, I think it'll be better. People will definitely be able to watch a few minutes compared to a 30-minute or an hour long podcast, depending on how long I can have a player on. But for sure, I'm excited to see what I can do this year. Uh, I'm preparing to do big things. I'm going to definitely try to have fan interactions for sure, for people to, be able to interact with my podcast, and then also being able to ask players, former Kentucky football players, some questions. So I think this podcast, I think, will do very well. I'm very excited to see what I can do this year. And like I said, I'm going to try to record at least one podcast episode a week going forward. And I'm going to change the name, of course, to, Big Blue News Podcast. I'm excited for it. So I'll see you all very soon.